Admiral's Log. As the sun rises over the horizon, casting its golden rays upon the decks of our warships, I find myself facing a daunting challenge. The American task force, a formidable armada of naval might, looms on the horizon. Its presence a stark reminder of the obstacles that stand between us and our ultimate objective, the invasion of the American West Coast. It is a battle we cannot afford to lose, for victory here will pave the way for our forces to strike deep into enemy territory, to establish a foothold on American soil, and secure our position as the dominant power in the Pacific. Already, our fleet is mustered and ready, every ship polished and gleaming in the morning sun, every sailor standing tall and resolute in their duty. As the minutes tick by and the tension in the air grows palpable, I steel myself for the battle that lies ahead, knowing that the fate of nations hangs in the balance. The American task force may be formidable, but we are the sons and daughters of China, and we will not be cowed by the might of our adversaries. Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome to episode 17. The time is here. The clash of fleets with the US is finally upon us. And it does look like the US is in a pretty good position. They have a lot of battleships out here, backed up by a bunch of battle cruisers, and a lot of cruisers and destroyers. Like, that's a ton of ships that I have to take down. Displacement-wise, we're also not looking that good. We got the North Dakota, the South Carolina. These are displacing about 45,000 tons versus my 18,000 tons, my 17 and 30. So what I intend to do here is do as much damage as possible. Inflict as much damage as especially against their convoy ships or their escorts. I gotta sink those cruisers to at least get a shot at some point at their bigger ships. Now here's the tally of the ships. I have 10. They have 47. So we're about even. Let's get to it. Let's get all the battleships organized in one group. I want to have these guys be able to evacuate rather sooner than later. We're going to have the heavy cruisers in one formation. I'm just going to set these guys to follow my fleet to make it a bit easier to make sure that everybody stays more or less together. We got two DDs, the James Fishburne and the LCG Lurch. These are armed with torpedoes that, at 8.9 kilometer range, and especially in low numbers, are not going to be that useful. I'm going to keep these fairly close to the battleships as well, for the simple reason that they might not be able to torp, but they can smoke. And that is valuable, because I want to be able to smoke up my battleships, if it comes to that. Now, when it comes to the guns, my 12-inchers, they might not do a whole lot against those battleships, but they will do a lot of work against the cruisers. Yeah, that is definitely a well-packed American battleship. Look at that thing. It's got guns on guns on guns on guns. What are we looking at? You have 8 14-inchers, okay. Then you got 16 3.2s. You got a double 7.2. You got 28 2.2s. Wow, these guys are apparently expecting a whole lot of airstrikes in a game that has no aircraft carriers. What about their cruisers? Yeah, their cruisers are relatively old. So it is definitely possible for me to use their cruisers as a bit of a punching bag. Get some points there. As for my ability to disengage, that is going to be tricky. I suspect that these ships, and I should have looked at that at the start, they're probably going to be faster than mine. And as such, they are most likely pretty capable of just keeping up with me, even as I am trying to disengage. So, trying to disengage from this fight, well, might not be possible. Maybe we'll have to go down fighting. These guys are thankfully not behind their smokescreen. The smokescreens are behind the formation. Against these cruisers, I should really only need a few hits with these big guns to deal substantial amounts of damage. Now, these are the refit ships. The Antonio Bocaya, the Core Driver, and the Deathmaster. So, ideally, their accuracy should be good enough. The problem is, I can't really slow down that much without risking getting hit by those 14-inchers from the Americans. And I suspect that they'll be both accurate and hard-hitting guns. They can pen the deck a bit. That's going to be potentially problematic for the ships here. Even if I were to try and engage these ships, I most likely would run out of ammo somewhere halfway through the battle. So that too is quite a concern. Look at this cruiser line here. That is a lot of ships, but they're all old. This is an old cruiser hull. And they appear to have just an endless supply of these things. There's just cruiser on cruiser on cruiser, but they all be appearing with, what, 10-inch guns? One bow, one stern. So essentially it's a cruiser that, unless it goes broadside, only has one gun to shoot at me. Making these battleships far more threatening. I mean, of course, it's a battleship, it's going to be more threatening, but, I mean, the factor that these cruisers put out, not that impressive. They have done damage to what? Out to the Hubei. Okay. Detonated a torpedo aboard the cruiser. Now, my cruisers, at least some of them. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the Jiangsu off the line. And just have that detach. Yeah, this is a modern cruiser division, if you will. So these cruisers are far more advanced than their older sister in the form of the Jiangsu. And have you join the battleships for easy management, and these guys might be able to execute a torpedo attack. And considering the vast numbers of ships, well, it's going to be kind of difficult to miss something. What's your range? 9.5. I'll be exposing the cruisers to lots of 14-inch fire, but risk it or lose it. DDs, don't worry about it. We finally inflict some damage here. The game is having to work through so many different ships and projections of where shells might land that the FPS might be a little lacking in this fight. I do apologize for that. The game is currently set up so that you're not supposed to have these large-scale battles. But the Dreadnought Improvement Project said that's a nice limit, and we're going to remove that. So you can still, with the Dreadnought Improvement Project, have these massive battles. That's exactly what we're seeing here. I really don't appear to be able to damage these cruisers with my cruiser guns. So let's go for torps. Now, cruisers don't have the ability to detect torpedoes. That works both ways. So I too have to be somewhat careful. You're going to torpedo this. Zhang Wei is going to torpedo that. You're going to torpedo this as well, and so are you. So we're going to send a pretty large fan fire towards that direction, which does mean I have to let them close in for just a bit more. Heavy cruiser Cambridge. That's a heavily armored cruiser, 130% with a 9.9-inch main belt. It's no surprise we're not penning that. No surprise. Alright, gentlemen, torpedo launchers on. At this point, I'd be surprised if you miss a target. Here. Here. Yeah, here and again there. Nope, you don't need to turn in that direction, just need to send your torpedo launcher that way. And we got a launch from Hubei. Zhang Wei is not launching yet. Gentlemen, now please. Because if you start doing this one by one, the effect is going to be far less severe. Zhang Wei, get with the program. We're getting very, very close to these enemy heavy cruisers, so it's time to start backing off. Alright. Switch the fire to the Frederick. Lead heavy cruiser over here. And is there any chance I can pen that? Yeah, bow is a bit weak. 2.9. These ships, what are you targeting? Generally nothing. Isn't that nice? I need you to slow down this time around. The cruisers are definitely drawing a lot of attention here, and that's fine. You guys need to start focusing on, I don't know, Minneapolis, the lead cruiser here. Start dealing damage to that. Good damage here against Frederick. They're definitely going right through. Torpedo launchers on the Frederick are getting destroyed. which is why they're taking that much damage. Now we got torps there, here, and here. Now we're going to be reloading for the next, yeah, about 15 minutes, 16, 17 minutes-ish. We're going to be here a while. Frederick, how good's your damage control, Freddy? Cramped crew quarters with maximum bulkheads. So, you can definitely contain the water, but your damage control parties are largely dead. That is very useful. At this point, they should be getting aware that there's a torpedo. These are sneakies, I think. Yeah, minus 65%. So they're slow, but no less deadly. And I think Minneapolis is about to notice that. Nope, they're not. That was a dud. Boston, then? Torpedo on the bow? Yep, that definitely hit the mark. They might actually get hit again. We got one cruiser eliminated so far. Oh, please don't destroy my torpedo launcher. I am very much looking forward to using that again. Very much. There you go, good damage. Torpedo hit on Scranton. Torpedo hit on Boston again. You took 2 torps. Those are what, 24 inches, right? Yeah. I'm surprised you're still here. Pittsburgh, not taking a torp. The rest of these might travel for a bit longer, but I doubt they'll be much of a threat. At least we broke up the formation somewhat, causing not all of these ships to come at me at the same time. I still don't really have a plan for how I'm going to disengage from this fight, but, well, we'll have to see how the battle develops, and especially how my ammo count develops. There we go, that's another cruiser eliminated. 2 down. Only 45 more to go. Easy battle. Can we target and eliminate the Bridgeport? Oh, their bow armor's taking a hit, but it's so well angled that you're not getting through that. Any of these wounded gentlemen? Yeah, Scranton's turning back, Minneapolis turning back, Pittsburgh badly flooded, Boston badly flooded. The torpedo launchers are getting destroyed. The problem is they're not that valuable, are they? They're 87 million each. If you contrast that to my 128 million, there's definitely a sizable margin. Oh, and they got torpedoes. I think Bridgeport won't really pose a threat, because they only seemingly sent 1 torp my way. Come on. Where's the battleship line at? Oh, they're actually quite slow. South Carolina doing 20 knots. Ooh, and might be getting hit by a torp. Yep, right on her stern. I didn't expect that torp. Was that mine? Did you actually get hit? Yeah, you did get hit by one of my torps. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that. I mean, yeah, they were going to travel for a while longer, but that's farther than expected. Not unwelcome. Alright, can we deal with any of the wounded ones, or potentially with their destroyer escorts? What are the battleships targeting? A heavy cruiser. Minneapolis. That was damaged before, I think. Where's the mini? Here's Canberra. She's very close. 7 clicks out. Deal with that first. And please use armor piercing. Damn, the game is stuttering so much. Yep, that's good damage. Good, good, good. They do have torps, but seemingly are unable or unwilling to launch. 8 kilometers out. They could have launched, they just didn't. Okay, next. Chauncey. Put the mains on the McDougal. Good damage. Get rid of these escorts. The more escorts we get rid of, the less my battleships have to worry about crew loss or something like a torpedo coming awfully close to the ship. Come on. There you go, McDougal. You're welcome. Gwyn taking damage from the secondaries. It's the 5 inchers on, for example, the Andong over here. She doesn't have a whole lot of them, but in this case they are extremely valuable to deal with those destroyers, and they are proving very useful. Actually having done more damage, point for point, than the 9-inch guns. There's Cruiser Kendra dead, that's work of the battleships. They're still not launching their torps. Battleship status. Deal with the Seattle, please. For the Seattle, and her torpedo launchers deal with you. Starboard turn a bit. You can eventually follow the heavy cruisers to some extent, that'd be great. We're halfway through reloading with the heavy cruisers. The torpedo launchers, that is. Target Columbia. You got 3 DDs nicely together. Target the Epson, sorry, the Epperson with their secondaries. Maybe by the time that we've eliminated this destroyer screen, our torpedoes are reloaded, we can have a go with the torpedo launchers against the battleships. Are these things expensive? $358. Yeah, that's definitely more than I'm paying for mine. More than double. A-core driver is a bit heavier, $324. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, so far, pretty good progress. There goes a cruiser. Next is the Los Angeles. This is the Wounded Cruiser Division. Yeah, they're all holding back. Excellent. But wait, there's more. Lots more cruisers coming out of the woodwork here. Surprisingly, though, they're not doing a whole lot of damage. They got pretty decent tech, right? Wait. Hold on a second. How old are you? Because I'm not even seeing a rangefinder on this ship. It has turbines. That's the base engine. Steam steering. This thing has a coincidence rangefinder 4, so that's a little better. What about their battleships? What about the battlecruiser Arizona here? What you got? Turbines? Stereoscopic 2 rangefinder? You got 15-inch guns, Mark II. But they're only being led by a stereoscopic 2 rangefinder. Okay. That's not really going to do a whole lot for your accuracy. Battleship Bainbridge using Mark II 14-inchers. And stereoscopic 3s. Also turbines. Yeah, this explains why all these things are so slow. By contrast, I have the 17-inch Mark III. That's the level of tech I'm at. And I believe I've just unlocked the stereoscopic rangefinder 5. So my tech is just very far ahead of the United States at this point. I'm a bit surprised about that, because they have a massive navy. But if they keep building all sorts of old ships like these to fill out their ranks, then yeah, it's just a lot of old stuff. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily good ships. As, well, their track record is kind of proving at this point. Los Angeles is suffering some bad flooding. Put your main guns now on Cambridge and secondaries on the Thornton, please. The heavy cruisers are doing a lot of work. 31k, 77k, 70k, 89k. Definitely some very, very useful ships there. Destroyed the main tower? No, your superstructure is not that heavily defended. That's bad news for you with your cramped crew quarters. Because this is also going to hamper your damage control abilities even more. Now, when I saw this fleet come at my fleet, I thought, oh, I messed up now. I'm going to lose my entire fleet, but I have 10 ships. They have almost 5 times that number. And they're just not getting anywhere. Now, if you look at the damage, I've done 455,000 versus 10. That's the level of discrepancy in damage that we have. Oh, hold on. Who torped you? A friendly, well, a not so friendly DD did. Did you do that? Clarence? Yep. Clarence apparently got a bit fed up with the cruiser and decided to remove it from sight. Very efficient. Not necessarily a very friendly gesture. Can you please not torp my battleships? Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. We're going to try and turn into the torps. Where did that... What? Are you guys launching your own torpedoes? It's not the fucking DDs, is it? It's not the Lurch. You? The Fishburne? Okay, I want both DDs off the line. They're not that useful. We seem to be turning pretty decently into the torp. So we should be fine. You guys dealt with the... Yeah, the Cambridge is down. That's whatever was left of the Canberra. Boston taking serious damage to the main tower. Oh, you took a big hit there, Hubei. What was that, a 14-incher? Yeah. 10,000 points of damage, near enough. Okay, so you might need a bit of help once you get off the battle. Are these things getting accurate? No, they're... Well, 12%. Considering they can mess up a cruiser with 2 shots. 12%'s a bit scary. Set it to a loose formation. This way I should be able to maintain speed. It's the Hubei which is slowing everybody down. Okay, Hubei, detach from the div and retreat. You've done a lot of work and now you can rest. Heavy cruisers, deal with the Barney and the Buck. Yeah, just trying to extricate those battleships from their heavy cruiser escort seems to be working, but I'm going to have to step it up and try and get here with my heavy cruisers if I'm going to get some damage in on them. Because the rest of these guys are all joining the fight. And that's not really something I can handle at this moment. What are we dealing with? Still with the Boston? Switch to the Scranton. Oh shit, these guys are getting real close. Okay, Antonio. What's your torpedo range? 10. Works for me. Target the South Carolina. And launch if you can. Because I know that you have torpedo launchers. I know that the Acre Driver does not. Deathmaster Snitch does. Not many, but in this kind of a battle, I'll take any bit of damage dealing that I can. Continue on the turn. Increase speed to, let's say, full. Heavy cruisers are coming about. They've just eliminated the Barney. Oh, that was a torp. Yeah, we're running a bit low on shells here. Only fire if you have a good solution. The secondaries can keep blasting, that's fine. We got plenty of ammo for those. Not worried. Ooh, good damage on the cruiser there. That's going to be the end of the Scranton. There goes the Scranton. The US is going to be absolutely reeling from this fight. They will have lost so many ships. Good lord. I do apologize for the PowerPoint quality FPS on this battle, but... Well, let's just say that trying to generate and properly process this many shells is proving a bit of a hassle for my PC. Or rather, for the game, probably, because I believe the game is still running on one CPU, or one core, as opposed to the many cores that my PC has available. Come on. It's a nice concentration of cruisers here. We can put them all down. Yep, that's the stuff. Boston is flooding. Minneapolis taking a couple of big hits. Pittsburgh taking a couple of big hits. Heavy cruisers. Do you guys still have torpedo launchers? Yangwei does not. Heizhang does. And Andong also has. But getting them into a useful position... Like the 9 clicks out. It's... cutting a little close. We've got torpedoes in the water here. Start dodging. Yeah, that's a big spread. That is a big spread. You guys are going to have to figure out how to dodge that yourselves. Target this and target that. I've kind of lost track of how many ships have been sinking. Was a little too busy trying to keep my ships alive, but I do believe that we've sunk about 15 ships. Oh, one of my DDs finally went down. What got you? A 6.2 from the battleship. Oh. Did South Cal take another torp? No, they dodged it. Okay. CAs. Ooh, Andong took a big hit. Was that a torp? That was a torpedo. And that was a torpedo on the Heijang. It's curious. Most of the time the AI is really good at dodging torpedoes. Like, bizarrely good. But this time around, they kind of messed up. Andong. Torpedo the Saratoga in return. You might get the Olympia and maybe the Tulsa if you get lucky. Because I'm kind of concerned that my torpedo launcher is going to get shot off the ship before long. As there's many, many, many cruisers coming this way. It does take a sweet amount of time for these torpedo launchers to rotate. Heijang. Look at this blob. Torps heading out to 5. Yeah, I'm gonna start disengaging with the CAs. It's getting a bit dangerous here. So, hold off on the torpedo launch. Andong, I do need you to launch. Come on, turn that launcher around. Fish in the water. There we go. Unfortunately, at this point, the heavy cruisers are probably going to be switching formation or trying to turn with my division. So it's entirely likely that they'll not be where the torpedoes expect them to go. Well, maybe the Olympia. Status on my battleships. Full health. Well, near enough. What's the range against their battleships? About 10? Yeah. Can we start putting their battleships down? Is that possible? You just hit them enough. Bow and stern are not that strong. Look at that. The whole thing is 1.5 except for the main belt? What is that? Yeah, we got a torpedo hit there. So bow and stern are fair game on this ship. That is useful. I can definitely exploit that. CAs need to start evacuating. You're going to have to detach. Because you are still remarkably healthy. You two are not. So let's say rejoin the retreating division here. And leave this place. Zhang Wei, you can still fight. Even though you got no armor-piercing ammo, your HE is deadly. So your HE should be sufficient to at least level a couple of ships. Oh, sorry, my AP is out. No, my HE is out, so I still have AP ammo. Okay, target the Buck. Deal with that if you can. South Carolina, flooding a bit. What's the biggest guns I got? 13s, I think, on the A-Cord. Yeah, we've got a 20% chance to hit. It's a partial pen only. Oh, they lost their damage control, or their fire control. So their accuracy normally would be pretty bad, but in this case, 26% against my battleship is somewhat concerning. Also, I'm definitely exposing my own battleships here. 15% chance to pen. The main belts should be sufficient at 14 inches. And especially with 150% armor quality, I can take a hit. But I'm just not seeing it. I'm not going through their armor. It's half a pen here, half a pen there. How's the Yang Wei doing? I need to keep an eye on her. She's flying solo into the rest of the fleet now. Definitely prioritizing the destruction of their destroyers now. Because they're kind of easy money. Even the main guns now have a 22% solution. Put the main guns to work there, please. Because that's a heavy cruiser that can pretty easily get taken down. Columbus, California... Maybe Olympia and Saratoga as well. We can get rid of those. That's 4 heavy cruisers less to worry about. Antonio Bucaya is such an old ship. I think it's one of the oldest ships that I have. Except that she got refit. And she's now sporting the Mark III 12-inchers, but also far more advanced gear, like a stereoscopic rangefinder, 24-inch electric torpedoes, gear turbines, Crypt 3 armor. This thing can take a hit. And she can definitely dish it out. Still. After, what, about 18 years after she was first commissioned as a ship in my navy. We're barely making a dent in this thing. I don't want to blow through the whole armor-piercing supply here. Switch to Salem. And see if we can get some accidental damage on the rest of that battle group. It's almost like they're sailing in line formations. I mean, they're sailing in columns. It's DDs, it's CAs, it's DDs again. But good lord, there's a lot of them. These BCs, 290 million. Armor. What is this paper thing? Switch to the battle cruisers. I wasn't expecting to be able to pen a battle cruiser with ease. This thing has no armor. 0.2 inches on the superstructure. 4 belt. 0.2 inches. Like, no joke, but my destroyers have more armor than that. Yeah, my destroyers have more armor than that. Oh, and they also seem to have some other 4th of July special effects. They just flew their turret off the ship. And they have... they lost all their ammo because of that flash fire. Oh, man. What are you targeting? The Yang Wei? On the other side of the fleet? That's a mistake. Columbus might have some flooding problems. But we have issues with the Tulsa over here. Oh, you destroyed my torpedo launcher. What? How did that happen? I got hit by a 14-incher. And another 14-incher. Ooh, that's pretty bad news, because that is a couple of 13-inch guns that are no longer available. Okay. That's a serious loss to my fleet. Yeah, I think it's time to start disengaging. Because essentially I'm fighting this fight with 4 ships now. 3 battleships, well, 2 battleships and 1 heavy cruiser that's flying alone on the other side of the scope here. About 12 kilometers removed from the capital ships. If you got torps, then by all means, but I wouldn't be surprised if you expended all of those or if they got destroyed. Yeah, they're all gone. There goes to Jiangyu. Sorry, Jiangsu. Tulsa eliminated. Well done to the Jiangwei. You're gonna try and pen the battleship. That's ambitious. Very ambitious. Turn around. We're going to eliminate these cruisers and then disengage. So you can target the Columbus. Finish her off. The battleships are going to have to try and disengage all by themselves. I think the Jiangsu here is going to have to get sacrificed. Thankfully, it's not that big of a loss to the Navy because it's a relatively older ship. But it's still a cruiser that I would not like to... Oh, hello, DD! Can I help you with anything? Oh, that was the Bok. That was the one that the Jiangwei was supposed to take care of. Crap. Well, now the Jiangsu is definitely toast. Boom. Oh, you got a dud? You got 3 duds and an actual live one. Wow. Call yourself lucky, dude. Unfortunately, at 6 knots, she's not going to be able to limp out of this fight. So, she might be slowing the rest of the div down a lot. What's the status of my battleships? You can do 22 knots. You, on paper, can do 22 knots as well. I kind of doubt we'll actually be able to get to that speed. Alright, one of you goes on a, let's say, southeasterly course. The other one goes on a more southwesterly course. You're going to have to pick which battleship you want to face and which one you want to just let go. As for Yangwei, we only have 200 shells left. But I need just a little bit more on the Columbus. Come on. 5% chance to hit. 11%. There goes the Jiangsu. Well, she fought well. She fought well. She did 79,000 points of damage and took 53. There's the flooding that I was looking for. So that's Columbus most likely eliminated. That leaves the California. There we go. Down. Oh, we're still inflicting damage upon their battle cruisers. What are you targeting then? Something else. Target Guam. I want you to also target the Guam. A battle cruiser is just such a massive target. And if they have no armor, then it's a free kill. So focus on those. You... How are you faring against California? I've got 126 shells left. Considering I'm firing bursts of 9. That gives me very little opportunity to deal with this heavy cruiser. Ceasefire. I'm gonna fly right into the face of the heavy cruiser here and see if I can take it out. That's good damage. Was that your shot? Wait, whose guns did I just turn off then? Unknown. Okay. California should have almost no opportunity to pen me now. Because I'm going full bow in. I'm a very difficult target, yeah. Come on, Yangwei. Phenomenal ship. 165,000 points of damage. With all sorts of platforms. 9-inch, 5-inch, torpedo launchers. They used every weapon system that the ship has. And it is definitely hurting the Americans. There you go. Flooding. 47% chance to hit. That's what I was looking for. But I'm also veering awfully close here to the North Dakota. Come on. Got 54 shells left. That's only 6 salvos. 5. I think she'll live. Increase the flank and just keep shooting on your way out. But basically, just disengage. Oh, we might accidentally hit something else here. No, I thought we were going to hit the Salem with that shell. Oh well. How are you guys doing? How's the battleship chase going? You're actually increasing your distance? Is that because the South Cal is slowing everybody down? They're doing 13 knots. I can escape with both of my ships. Well... this ship might not survive that. This is going to be a bit of a stretch. Chance to pen. Still pretty bad. But I'm still doing 14 knots, which is just slightly faster than theirs. Unfortunately, they just don't seem to run out of ammo. I think I'm pretty much as well angled as I can be. Okay. Let's hope that works. Jiangwei should probably... yeah, they're not quite out of ammo yet. Jiangwei still has 30 shells left. And then a bunch of 5-inchers. Alright. I'm going to pause recording here as I try and disengage the fleet. Unfortunately, at the end of the battle, I did lose the Deathmaster. This is a ship that proved to be extremely resilient. She was hit... well, she was shot at shy of 8,000 times and hit 690 times. I was actually letting the clock on the battle run down, trying to get her extracted from the battle, but unfortunately it was not to be. As such, we did sink 24 of the American ships, so it's about half their fleet here, at the expense of 4 of my ships. The Americans now have a grave problem. They have nowhere to resupply, their ships are badly damaged, and I have a lot more ships just sitting around the corner. So this is only round 1 against the US. So the US fleet is still in my territory. They're still here. but they've been badly wounded. And especially now that I know that their battlecruisers are not that big of a threat, well, it's only a matter of time. Especially considering that I have a couple of big ships joining the fleet soon, the State Belts. One of them constructing for another 7 months, but the Scheffler Gaming is ready. 3 months away, this thing is getting commissioned, and she has a couple of 15-inch guns. Now, they're not the most modern 15s, I still have to refit her, but she is definitely fit for fighting. Her armor is good, her speed is not great, but with those guns, I can make some pretty sizable holes in the American ships. Interestingly, we have both Canada and the Philippines interested in buying these ships. And I believe that while they are expensive to build, they're eventually going to give me a profit of about 1.5 billion. How exactly they're funding those things, I don't know. My naval fund is pretty good. My naval budget annually is enough to buy one of those ships. So how something like the Philippines is able to do that, I don't know. Japan is no longer with us. Japan has ceased to exist as I completely conquered it. So that's another faction that I don't have to worry about anymore. Leaving my attention open to the US. And the US still, well, has a lot of ships. They got 148 ships, 18 battleships, 9 battle cruisers, 22 heavies, 34 lights, and 65 destroyers. That's a lot of ships. They're supposedly advanced in technology, but their ships are not quite showing that. So they might look intimidating, but their ships aren't actually that advanced, and they're at war with pretty much everybody except for Germany. So they definitely have more issues than just me. So in the next episode, we're going to take the fight to the US again, prepare for another battle, and potentially move east, or should I say far west, towards Western North America, where we're first going to bombard their ports. Once their ports are properly dismantled, we're going to invade Western US. I hope you guys will join me for that in the next episode. Thank you for watching this one. I'll see you soon for more.